Welcome to What Are the Drivers for Investment in Digesters? I am Paul Raftery, the CEO of Projects RH, and I am based in Sydney, Australia. Today I'm joined by Steve Carmichael, President, Founder, and CEO of Urbenex BioEnergy. The company was founded in Vancouver but largely operates in California. Welcome, Steve.
Hello, Paul.
While digesters are clearly beneficial to the environment, it's necessary to make an investment decision, and so they need to stack up financially. Large investments by companies such as BP and Shell strongly suggest that they do attract and give good financial returns. While BioEx digester units are smaller than the units purchased by BP in the United States and Shell in Europe, they are significant investment decisions, being priced at around $3 million each. I understand your company is currently working large in the dairy sector. Steve, why is this the case?
Well, the American dairy industry has been under a tremendous amount of scrutiny because of the carbon footprint that dairy farms have, which is huge because of the methane gas and the CO2 that is produced from cow manure. There's over 1.5 billion cows in the world, and they produce roughly 30% of the methane that's released into the atmosphere every day. Methane stays in the atmosphere roughly 20 times longer than CO2. So without saying it, we're saying that cows are probably one of the biggest problems causing global warming. Now, we've specifically targeted California, where we're building our first digesters right now, just in an area north of Sacramento. In California, dairy farms are under pressure not only by the counties, but also on a state level to reduce their carbon output, and this even more than they're being in other states. There's roughly 1,800 dairy farms in the state, in that state, and they average roughly 1,300 cows per farm. And the state is concerned about the methane and CO2 release and the consumption of water, which is used again as a valuable commodity in that state. So we at Urbenex, we understand the pressures that the farmers are under. So we're offering them a very affordable means, not only to reduce the carbon footprint by more than 60%, but we put a steady revenue stream in their pockets for up to 20 years. By partnering with us, they don't have to buy or manage a digester, which normally starts at about $5 million and runs up to $30 million if you're buying one like these large industrial farms. We supply the digesters at no cost to the farmer, and we own and manage the digesters ourselves. The win for Urbenex retains 85 to 90% of the revenue we generate. The farm of 1,500 cows will generate roughly about 1.3 million in net revenues each year, and we operate on a 20-year manure supply agreement with the farmers and a 10-year purchase agreement with the buyers.
Fantastic. So how does a BioEx digester make money, Steve?
So before we contact any farm, we find and sign long-term agreements with the buyers of the materials that we're going to produce, the green methane gas and the CO2. There are hundreds and hundreds of buyers out there right now, especially in the methane gas and the electrical side. We use California gas pipeline grid and the electrical grid to deliver the methane and electricity that we produce on the farms and users so that we can send them to the people we have contracts with. We create revenues from 3 different products that we produce directly on the farms. Number one is the sale of the gas itself. The main revenue source for us is the actual sale of the green methane gas, or sometimes called renewable natural gas, or RNG. We sell it by a measurement called a gigajoule, or it's roughly 1,000 cubic feet. Our digesters can produce between 500 and 600 gigajoules a day. The demand for RNG is huge. There is a program in the U.S. called the Inflation Reduction Act, the IRA, by the Department of Energy, pushing through a bipartisan program in Washington, D.C. right now that will enable any trucking company that uses green methane gas, which is what we produce, as a fuel for their fleets, a $1 per per gallon tax credit will be available, and that will almost cut the cost of their fuels in half. So when we produce the methane gas, we send it to the end user. The end user can apply for the carbon credits. So what we do is, as part of our contract with the end user, so let's use a trucking company as an example. They apply for the carbon credits based upon the CI score that we produce the gas under. That carbon credits that they get are split with 70% of the carbon credits come to us, 30% of the carbon credits go to the end user. The credits are made available through the California Low Carbon Fuel Standard, or LCFS, and the Federal Renewables Fuel Standard, which combined with our CI score, which our gases have been assigned, define the number of carbon credits and the value associated with them. These carbon credits, by the way, are worth 4 to 5 times the value of the gas that we produce. Urbenex has a contract with a carbon credit broker in California who helps us gain and sell the carbon credits to maximize the revenues and profits for both the investors and the company. Secondly, we produce electricity on the site and sell that into the grid directly to the end users by using the grid as the conduit for delivery. On farms where we don't have access to a pipeline to move the gas, we can actually, through running the gas through generators, create what's called green electricity. It's made from burning the gas, the methane that we produce. The carbon credits for electricity have doubled in the last few months and will continue to grow. In the future, we'll be manufacturing what's called green hydrogen. We have been approached by 2 hydrogen manufacturers in the UK who want to partner with us to convert the green methane to green hydrogen using their technology. It's right now we're just gathering information. That's going to be a bit of a ways off, but the market for that is going to be huge, because I think hydrogen is going to be the next big thing in terms of, rather than electricity, for the trucking industry.
So what impact are your digesters already having upon the market in California?
Well, digesters in general help farmers reduce the carbon footprint, which is the biggest issue that farmers are facing. They also supply them an opportunity to recycle about 80% of the water that they use on a day-to-day basis. A lactating dairy cow drinks about 50 gallons of water a day. So if you have 1,000 cows, which is below the average in California, you're going through roughly 16 million gallons of water a year. We can recycle about 85% of that back to the farm. But on an annual basis, we're solving the problems that the farmer has in terms of their carbon footprint, their water issues, the lagoon or pond that they use to store the manure, which is constantly releasing the methane into the atmosphere. We eliminate that. And in the meantime, we're putting about $150,000 a year into their pocket. This is not only good for the farmers, but it's also good for the investors and for the company.
Well, hopefully, Steve, you'll be able to go internationally shortly.
Well, we've already had inquiries from Poland, Spain, Portugal, New Zealand, and Australia. Right now, our focus is California, because to us, it's the low-hanging fruit. It's the market that has probably the best carbon credit program out there. And let's face it, you can't beat the weather working in California than working in a state like Wisconsin or in Canada, where it's a lot colder in the winter. So yeah, right now we're focused on California, but we're definitely going to look at international somewhere down the road.
Steve, thank you very much for your time today.
Paul, my pleasure. Thank you very much.
I'm Paul Raftery, the CEO of Projects RH, based in Sydney, Australia. Today I was joined by Steve Carmichael, President, Founder, and CEO of Urbenex BioEnergy, Inc. Thank you, Steve.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.